to Biomutant. A mountain is the opposite of a swamp. Toxanol hid their waste in the gutways, but it seeped all around us. It's not so dark out anymore. That's a surf hurdle. The company put those up to harness the power of flowing goo, which doesn't flow so well now. That's the vroomer. Go, beastie, go.
Tower, pale, where Sarah is, so what's up?
Claims to love chatting with you, no matter the state of your fur. Says you... This story is about a hero. That's the top of a shaftiloo, a gigantic dig hole toxanol cut into the forest to pull things out of the earth. This one seems to be in good spirits despite being left here for dead. Has heard that you have a sense of... Asks you to do the...
That's so dark. I love it.
How can you love
You don't see...
the dark thing?
No.
There's no time to look back. Too busy moving on. There's something there. Skronkers. It's far away. Juju's shop is here somewhere. As long as karma exists, the world changes. Juju is just thrilled to finally meet you. Even in these darkest days when the spotlights are growing dim, you're like a fresh outfit. Thinks you have the power to steer the fate. He knows you have the... He tells you to dig deeper into... Wonders if you ever think about how things... Likes how the... Thanks... Thinks it's good you're working with the Myriad. The Sifu there has the best taste in styles. Claims to have made his favourite, the one the Sifu wears every day. But that's enough about them. He wants to talk about him. He wonders if you can see it too. The common threads that have... But fortunately, he's good at smoothing things over, choosing things that are chic and glossing the aesthetics. Most come here to get relief from how ugly the world has become. He works a lot with mood, be it good or... Says that... Some even think what he does is magic, changing the way you feel with style. That's how he got his nickname, Juju. He's been zigzagging all night. He has a fibre he needs to get done. He needs to thread the needle, but the only spare bobbin he knows about, well, he saw it attached to a...
Hard to find any shadows now.
Correct, and we could
There has to...
turn off the light.
That's not what I meant.
Good ridey beast. No hurty. You finally found the village of Bumlidoff. Let's see. Come. It was too heavy for them, but just go grab that. Without you, it's just going to rust bust. Stay on top and you'll be fine. Ah, the Gnote pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Let's see. Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again. She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid. Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark. But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going.
Andro?
Seems reluctant to even say its name. It's become personal to her too, since it's taken so many of her innocent gnotes as prey. Noko remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be. She sees you're back to buck with Lupa Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least. She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still. Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like, until it's worn smooth. but you get to blaze your own trail from here. Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Looper Lupin to pay for what he did to her Gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature.
Bet you can see clearly now.
The dark will never...
No,
sounds like...
I do not...
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones. You can't do everything you want, can't go everywhere, can't see everything, only what you can. So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the Gnotes die with it. Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out. Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to it. They're just... But let's not speak of that now. She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow. The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you. You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able... Let's hope the beast keeps listening to you. You found the Majut Meadow. Watch out for the Majut. Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm. But Noko is still concerned.
Trovalo.
She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down.
Domale tu.
The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down.
Trovalo.
She says that you should find some bonbon gummies.
Chial domale canodo.
She figures the choosies from the old world are made from gummy trees, but wouldn't be surprised if they were actually made from some chemical concoction, though. It's time for an adventure, for good or bad. A crossway. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? A story has got to keep moving forward. That's shutting. That's more than not opening for you. pling-plong booth. Looks like the control box handles need to be wheeled to buzz the wire. Wired up and ready to go. Needs a key. Try not to get turned around in the dark. Ooh, a biohazard like that can make you real sick. The best stories are about want to get your arms swole? Grab those guns flexors and get pumping that iron. Got to time it right to make them work. Left pumping good, looking better. Finders keepers. The stars never give enough light. Locked, but good. You should flick the switches in order to greenlight the current and activate the electrons in the panel. Good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. Ooh-wee, that's biohazard. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. What you see is what you get, once it's out of the blind box, that is. The sun is coming up fast. Have you been up all night? Wood scrap's great for building things.
Yggdrae.
claims to love chatting with you, no matter the state of your fur. Hates that you're wasting your... Says you can't all share the way of thinking that... So bright out now. With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Noko is still concerned. She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got. The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world mecha-Majut. If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the Gnotes. That's not so far away. Seems the old world had plenty to offer, an all-in-one place for those obsessed with material things. Almost too much, if you ask her.
Biomutant.
Careful in the mountains. Falling is awful. Landing is worse.
Kodotuku.
Says she always hoped you escaped Lupa Lupin, and now you're back, she's even happier.
Andro?
Applauds you for helping build things rather than bust them down. Says the Tree of Life is going so fast. You need to do anything you can to save it. Their friend is trying to get the shell horn working, but they can't figure it out. Could you maybe help them puzzle it out? Claims it makes noise when it's not broken. Maybe it calls something. Only one way to find out. Says it would be great if you could hear the shell horn, but it's not working. Which is the problem route? Find their friend for the straight notes. Otherwise the shell shall horn no more. Look at those notices on the board. Too bad the Gnotes couldn't read them. If you wander around here, you might find Noko. She just loves those Gnotes. Once the power ran out, it made sense to ride Gnotes. And that tradition... Powered types of transportation polluted the world, but didn't poop in the street. Obviously, they didn't have their priorities right in those days. Watch your step here, and you might find tracks of another traveler. The light you see at night is brighter than you think. Grit. See that e-waste? You could use that for sure. Why, you made it to Hoofer. There's a living thing trader. So let's see. Shopkeeper claims you won't be able to find better. Looking down from the mountaintops might be a bad idea. Nice shot. Up shot. You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the mechanism. That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Nocco. You're here for a reason. It's up to you to figure out what that is. Tell it to gallop. Now that the Majut's got a mouthful of bonbon gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Majut is ready to ride. Noko's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the hoof puff when you confront it. She's called them glitter moths, and the best way to find them is to go talk to Mito. She's asked him to keep them somewhere safe. You'll find Mito at Bright Light. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember where he stored the moths. He's been able to literally shed some light in the darkness for her over the years, but also because of his cheerful manner. Noko is always willing to help. Can't believe you didn't know Gizmo till recently. After all he's done, says you should prepare to dive if you want to find the Northwestern World Eater. Says you should... But hope isn't lost. Glad you ran into out of date. Don't get distracted by all the destruction you can see this time of day. Wood scrap. The one kind of scrap you could actually still find growing. You're still aboard your mount, which is probably a good sign. Look at that plastic scrap, just waiting for someone to do something with it. This place is called Brightlight. Mito lives close by. Let's see. With the world getting darker by the day, there's not much time left to save it. And even though you've just met, he feels you're bound to play a huge part in that. Claims to be a simple lamp maker, bringing light into the world as best he can. You found your way through the darkness. You shine like the sun in the sky, but will you use that power to warm the world or burn it? Hopes you see how much good you can do with power like that, and how easy it is to let it drive you mad. No matter where your path takes you, though, it's important to remember where you came from. The past brightlights the present. Wonders if you know how much of an effect you've had upon the world. Your presence changes things like light changes darkness. Did you realize that when choosing where to shine? Says he can see that in the way you brighten everything up. So happy you know you're helping brighten the world. There's plenty of it that's still worth saving. Whatever happens to the world, you shone as bright as you could. That matters more than you know. Says you did the right thing in taking up with the Myriad. They buy lots of his lamps. That's a tribe that believes in the bright things in the world. It's clear you do. Nothing shines as bright as being right. Says he can see by the twinkle in your eyes that you're not here to talk about your allies. He assumes you are here to be enlightened. He can't blame you, as everything just feels dark and hopeless these days. There's something about you, like you're knit together. Your fate's connected. What you've said, he feels too. So, why not call him Me Too? He senses you're like the dayfly, living every day like it's your last, afraid that when night comes, it might be proved right. Believes no one is entirely dark. Even the worst have a spark of good in them. Mito says he's not only into those who shine bright, he likes things that glitter too. He reckons you haven't seen a glitter moth, and says it's about time you did. Even though they're nesting near gone grass, they never run out of glow. Finding yourself a glitter moth would give you that glimmer of hope you need to continue all the way to the end. Glows with delight at your bright passion for the light.